you want to be a star. You want to be a name, and that work's just begun.
De'Aaron Martez Fox, born December 20th, 1997. I never thought I'd be writing a Stunted Growth feature on De'Aaron Fox, a player I highly respect and love watching. But it seems he's one of the most snubbed players in the game today. Some players enter the NBA with all the hype in the world, and their reputation only grows with time. Others, no matter how great they perform, never quite command the respect their talent deserves. De'Aaron Fox falls into the latter category. Since being drafted in 2017, he's put up elite numbers, improved his game year after year, and shown time and time again that he belongs among the best guards in the league. And yet, when the conversation turns to top point guard, his name often gets lost in the shuffle. Why? Fox's talent is undeniable. He's one of the fastest players in the NBA, a blur in transition who can get to the rim at will. His mid-range game is elite, and despite early struggles, he's developed into a solid three-point shooter. Just ask the Golden State Warriors, who saw him torch them in his playoff debut. He plays with toughness, bites through injuries, and has been the clear leader of the Sacramento Kings, a team that went from laughingstock to playoff contender. His ability to take over games, especially in the fourth quarter, should make him one of the most feared guards in the league. Still, there's an undeniable truth that lingers over his career. He's not talked about in the same breath as guys like Ja Morant, Damian Lillard, or even a younger star like Tyrese Halliburton. His impact is overlooked and his game is underrated by the casual fan. Even when he was crowned the NBA's first ever Clutch Player of the Year, it still felt like his respect level didn't rise in the way it should have. So, what's behind this lack of fear? Or this absence of respect? Is it a flaw in his game that makes him easier to overlook? Or is it simply a matter of perception, one that no matter how well he plays, refuses to change? Fox has proven time and time again that he belongs, yet the recognition never seems to follow. Even when he outplays so-called bigger stars, the narrative never shifts in his favor. Why is De'Aaron Fox consistently one of the most slept-on stars in the NBA? He was recently traded to the San Antonio Spurs, where he's finally playing with another seemingly all-time great. Maybe this will change his perception, but as of now, for these reasons, as far as respect and fear from his peers, his growth is being stunted. What happened? Let's talk about it. Salute to Union Made BG on IG for this request. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth. Let's get it, man. Take a minute to like, subscribe, and comment on who I should do next. De'Aaron Fox is a 6'3" point guard born in New Orleans, Louisiana, whose basketball journey began in Houston, Texas, Katy specifically, where he quickly made a name for himself as one of the most electrifying guards in high school basketball. At Cypress Lakes High School, his speed, agility, and ability to take over games made him a 5-star recruit and one of the top-ranked point guards in his class. He committed to the University of Kentucky, a school known for producing NBA-ready guards, and wasted no time showcasing his potential. In his lone college season, Fox led Kentucky to the Elite Eight, with his defining moment coming against UCLA, where he dominated Lonzo Ball with a 39-point masterpiece. That performance solidified him as a lottery pick, leading the Sacramento Kings to drafting him 5th overall in 2017. Despite playing in a losing culture early on, Fox steadily improved each year. By 2023, he became an all-star for the first and only time and helped end Sacramento's 16-year playoff drought. Stunt number 1, overshadowed by market and media bias. One of the biggest reasons De'Aaron Fox has been overlooked for most of his career is simple. The Kings were a non-factor in the NBA landscape for nearly 2 decades, failing to make the playoffs from 2006 to 2023. No matter how well Fox played, Sacramento was never a team that got national attention. They weren't featured on primetime television, didn't get Christmas Day games, and their success, or lack thereof, was rarely a topic of major debate. NBA media often prioritizes larger markets like Los Angeles, New York, or even teams with generational superstars who naturally command attention. Despite being one of the most electrifying guards in the game, Fox was rarely given the platform to showcase his talent to the casual fan. His breakout moments, such as his playoff debut against the Warriors where he averaged over 27 points per game, were quickly overshadowed by the narrative surrounding Golden State. Even when he won the first ever Clutch Player of the Year award, it felt more like a side note than a true recognition of his dominance. Compare this to other young guards in the league. Ja Morant, despite playing in a small market, became the face of the NBA's highlight reels due to his high-flying playstyle and Memphis's aggressive media push. Tyrese Halliburton, ironically a former Kings player, received instant recognition after joining Indiana, a franchise more respected for its player development and structure. Fox, on the other hand, had to fight for every bit of respect he's earned. Now that he's in San Antonio, playing alongside a potential generational talent in Victor Wembanyama, the question remains, will the shift to a more storied franchise finally change his perception, or will the narrative around him remain the same? Stunt number 2, lack of a marketable image or narrative. In today's NBA, being great on the court isn't always enough. You also need a compelling narrative or a marketable persona that makes the league and media want to push you. De'Aaron Fox has never had that luxury. Look at the stars who dominate the headlines. Ja Morant's high-flying dunks and off-court controversies keep him in the news. Luka Doncic has been labeled as the next great European superstar, following in the footsteps of Dirk Nowitzki. Even Trae Young, despite the ups and downs of his team, built his brand off the rivalry with the Knicks and his villain status. Fox, on the other hand, has never had that defining moment or persona that makes him stand out beyond his game. He's not a trash talker. He doesn't make headlines with drama or flashy antics. He's a quiet killer, a player who simply goes to work and lets his performance speak for itself. While that's admirable, it doesn't help in a league that thrives on storylines and player-driven narratives. Even when he led the Kings to their first ever playoff appearance in 16 years, the conversation was more about Sacramento's long-awaited return rather than Fox's individual brilliance. His rivalry with Stephen Curry in the playoffs had the perfect ingredients to be a breakout moment, but once the Kings were eliminated, the focus immediately shifted back to Golden State's future. Now in San Antonio, things could change. Playing alongside Wembanyama gives Fox the chance to be part of a rising team with a generational prospect. But will the NBA finally start marketing him as a superstar, or will he still be viewed as a secondary piece? His quiet nature may continue to keep him in the shadows, even if his game deserves the spotlight. Stunt number 3, the back injury that changed his game. Early in his career, De'Aaron Fox was one of the most electrifying players in the NBA. His speed was unmatched, his explosiveness made him a nightmare to guard, and he played with a level of athleticism that made him must-watch TV. He wasn't just fast, he was violent with his first step, blowing by defenders like they were standing still and finishing above the rim with ease. But at some point, something changed. Fox is still quick, still a problem in transition, but he's not the same high-flying, reckless force he once was. A big reason? His early back injury. It didn't receive much attention at the time, but back issues can be career-altering, especially for a player who relies on speed and explosion. Over time, Fox adjusted his game, becoming more methodical. Instead of playing at full speed all the time, he controlled the tempo, choosing his spots. His mid-range game improved, his three-point shooting became more respectable, he became a smarter, more efficient player, but with that shift, some of the personality of his game disappeared. The things that made him a highlight machine in college and his early years, the jaw-dropping dunks, the impossible finishes, the coast-to-coast plays became more rare. While his new play style is highly effective, it doesn't generate the same excitement, especially for casual fans. And when you pair that with playing on a team like Sacramento, which lacked national exposure, the result is a player who quietly dominates but doesn't command the same fare or recognition as flashier stars. It's weird because the back injury helped him become a better player, but toned down his excitement quality, making his growth one of the more underrated ever. All in all, De'Aaron Fox is one of the most skilled, intelligent, and dynamic guards in the NBA. His ability to control a game, take over in clutch moments, and elevate his team is undeniable. Yet for too long, his greatness has been overshadowed by market bias, by a lack of a marketable image, and by an injury that forced him to evolve into a more calculated player rather than an electrifying one. The talent, leadership, and winning mentality are there. The only question is whether the league will finally give him the respect he's earned, or if his growth in perception will remain stunted. Salute, much respect, but for these reasons, as far as perception and fair, his growth is being stunted. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth, and I'm out.